This is the Russian Dynamite, Masha Slamovich.
Becca here.
This is not America's Sweetheart, Davian. And
It's Billy Starks. And
the super fly guy, Trayvon Jordan.
This is the fly side flyer, Jalen Brandon.
Hardcore Princess, Jules Malone.
Hi there, this is the Bubblegum Princess, Alexia Nicole.
This is the Brazilian Wonder Woman, Christy Jane.
This is the baddest black belt, Chennai Kai.
This is Kid Bandit.
The smash hit Joel Bateman.
This is Robin Renegade.
Cody Hawk.
Brutal Bob Evans. And you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
It's Miller time, baby. This is Ozzy Miller, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today, the trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox. I'm, of course, your host, James J., and it's a great day for wrestling, because we are wrestling with Ozzy Miller.
All right, yes. What a nice introduction. Great to be here.
It's great to have you.
So,
it's Miller time.
Yeah, it's Miller time, baby. Amazing.
And can you tell us when it will be Miller time event-wise?
So event-wise, in recording, this Saturday I have a show coming up. But when this is out, it would already have happened. And then I am going down for a festival called Sweden Rock. But after that, I'm going to Holland, actually. At the 20th of July, they have a summer camp that me and my wrestling friends are going down there to learn from PWH, Pro Wrestling Holland, with such name as Tom Barong Chong. He's actually been up to Stockholm. I've met him. Nice guy. So I'm looking forward to that.
That's awesome. I didn't even know that there was wrestling in Holland.
It was the same for me, but in Sweden, actually. When I started out, I just watched, WWE and some of TNA. And it's like, what? There's wrestling in Sweden? And then, when you get into the indie wrestling scene, it's like, oh my God, there's like 4 in Sweden. And there's like 2 in Denmark. There's 2 in Norway. There's multiple in Finland. There's wrestling everywhere.
Oh, yeah. As I'm starting to realize.
Yeah.
And where can we find you on social media?
So I have Instagram and Twitter, but I'm mostly, and Facebook, of course, but I'm mostly active on Facebook and Instagram. On Facebook, you can just type in the search bar, just Ozzy Miller, and I'm there. And on Instagram, it's ozzymiller.wrestling. And for the Twitter, it's Ozzy Miller W.
And where can we find merchandise?
You have to come to the show, sadly. I don't have a shipping partner. I have to talk to Stani about how he does it because he ships. But if you want merchandise, Ozzy Miller shirts and such, you have to come to the show.
Okay, so a super expensive flight to Sweden to get Ozzy
Yes.
merch.
If you really want it, you gotta come to the show.
Alright, and you don't have to go looking for it. All of the links to all his social media will be in the description of the video below, both on YouTube and Castbox.
Amazing. Thank you.
Of course. And let's get into it. You work for Freedom Pro and Stockholm Pro Wrestling. Can you tell us about your relationship with those companies?
Yeah, I started my wrestling journey the 4th of July, actually, 2021. And then maybe a couple weeks later, the school that I work with, that I train for, they had an opportunity for, young boys, like to circle around the ring, to be security guards and such. And then they had a kid show the day after. So day 1 was adult show, and the next day was kid show. And we were gonna start the kid show with like a pre-show battle royal. And they asked me if I wanted to do something in the battle royal. And of course, I said yes. And I got in there with a bunch of people, and I took this guy named The Strangler, and I gave him a snapmare, a round ropes, and I gave him a diving lariat. And then I cheered to the crowd like, yeah, so freaking awesome. And then he took me at the back of the neck and tossed me out. So, and with Stockholm Wrestling, maybe I think it was the 13th of November, the same year. So I have been wrestling for like 5 months, or maybe 4 even. I'm not that good at math. They put out a Facebook post of my face, and they said, this guy is the rookie, because I was a rookie, but you have to decide his name. And so they just commented all these names on the Facebook post. And then at the show day, I stood in the middle of the ring with Captain Charisma, the announcer, and he just went through a bunch of names. And I was named Köttfärs in Swedish. In English, it directly translates to like ground beef or minced meat.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've been working with Freedom and Stockholm Wrestling ever since. Freedom got me like my first wrestling experience, and Stockholm Wrestling got me like my foot in the door with like huge, amazing crowds and just like wrestling psychology and such, feeding me opponents and such.
Now, I was going to save this question for later, but you did bring it up now. Your original pro wrestling name was Minced Meat.
Yeah.
How did you kind of feel about that, especially considering it wasn't something you came up with?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I'm kind of pulling back the curtain a little bit because I, of course, saw this Instagram post, and it was names like, you know, Kalles Caviar, which is like Kalles Caviar, and it was like the Wrestling Kid, or it was, you know, like kind of like whatever names. My mother even commented like Mama's Boy. And I was like, Mom, you can't do that because they will take it, you know, what if they choose it? And Köttfärs, minced meat, ground beef, was one of them. And I got a document, like a Word document from the promoter, and he said, pick the names that you don't want and pick the names that you absolutely want, and some of the names that are like so. And actually, Köttfärs, minced meat, ground beef, was one of the ones that I didn't want. And then the announcer, he stood in the middle of the ring, and he was like, take a look at this guy. He's you know, so he's a fresh-faced, he's super handsome and a young chap. How can you give him such name as Köttfärs? And the whole place just erupted, and they started chanting this name, and it was like, well, I guess that's my name now. So I went with that name for a whole entire year. I even made merch, sold out the merch, so I can't complain, really.
So how did you know, when you have a gimmick like that, how do you transition out into Ozzy Miller?
Yeah, after a while, I had this name for a while, and I kind of felt like I needed, because Köttfärs was something that the audience gave to me, and I'm so grateful that they latched on to me and they support me. But I kind of wanted something that was mine, you know.
Right.
So I just sat down one day, and I just came up with ideas. I just pitched names to myself. And Ozzy, people think it's Ozzy Osbourne, but it's my uncle. His name is Ozzy. And Miller is my girlfriend's favorite beer. So I just took the Ozzy and the Miller, and I said to the promoter, I said, I want to have, because everything has to be worked into like a gimmick, like a match or something. I just can't just come out one day and be like, this is my name now. So I pitched it to where it was like, I want to be rewarded a name. Like if I beat someone, I can have my name. But if I lose, there has to be like some down point. And that was when I faced Markus of Man. And he brought it to the level that if I lose, then I and everyone else has to call him, I think it was Lord Markus of Man, or Lord Markus, or something like that. But if I win, I can choose my own name. And I won that match, and ever since I've been Ozzy Miller.
Okay, and I'm assuming like the fans actually took to it, because sometimes it's like, we like meat, a minced meat.
Yeah. I mean, they still chant Shotvesh, which I like. I'm not taking it as a slight towards me.
Right.
I kind of see it as like a war cry. Instead of going like, come on, or let me hear you, it's kind of like, Shotvesh! And they're like, yeah! So I think also that the crowd kind of understood, like, the nickname wasn't gonna last, but it can still remain a nickname. But we should give this guy a proper name,
I got you. And there is still a little bit of a wink and a nod, because your elbow is called the meat hook, right?
The meat cleaver, yeah.
Meat cleaver.
Yes, that was my trainer, Aliss Ink, because I've been doing the elbow drop, and I just called it the elbow drop. And one day she came up to me and she's like, "You should call it the meat cleaver. It's such a good name. Like, your elbow is so sharp that you cleave them, And I was like, God damn, that's brilliant. Yeah, of course." And ever since, it's the meat cleaver.
Now, more recently, you were in a triple threat with Markus of Man and Aliss Ink. Obviously
Yeah.
your trainers. We'll talk about Markus in a minute, because there is a lot to talk about Markus. But let's talk about Aliss for a minute. That was your first time competing against her?
It was, yeah. It was. Let me think. Yeah, I think it was the first time I've ever faced her. She's legit. She has extensive martial arts background. She doesn't pull her kicks. If she kicks you, you're gonna feel it. Which is fun. I kind of like it. That it was exciting, because I've been training up until this point with her for like 2.5 years. And I've always kind of wanted to face her, but it's kind of weird because we're both faces, And so, like, a face-face match kind of often doesn't work, because who's the crowd going to cheer for,
Right.
There's people that can, of course, pull it off, but then we were given this match down in Valor in Malmo, and it was me, Markus, and Aliss, and I just shoot at the bit because I was able to perform with her, and I liked it a lot. She's so awesome.
Now, obviously her being your trainer, is that kind of, you've been training with her for like 2.5 years. Is that like a way to measure your progress as a pro wrestler, is getting in the ring with your coach?
I reckon so, yeah. I feel like maybe most trainers kind of want to get in there early with the trainees, just to kind of like feel around to see if you're good enough, to kind of put you on kind of a scale. But I've been training with her for, as you said, 2.5 years, and she's been doing awesome stuff with Stardom and WXW and Body Slam, and I kind of just felt like privileged to be in there with her, to be like one of the names that she's faced. She's faced, like Julia from Stardom, and she's also faced Ozzy Miller. That's pretty cool.
Well, going from good trainer to bad trainer, Markus of Man. You've had quite the relationship with him, to say the least.
Yeah.
Could you tell us about that time he actually shaved your head?
Yeah, that was fun. We had I think we had a match before that where he beat me, and he kind of just like he just berated me and the audience for liking me. He thought I was kind of like stupid and just a scrawny kid trying to be a wrestler while he was, an actual wrestler. And so he wanted to humiliate me. He wanted to, I think he said in the promo that he's going to make me look like a sick child and he's going to make my girlfriend and my mother cry and all of that. And so he just wanted to humiliate me and take my hair. And I had actually been saving that hair for a while because, I've been looking up to, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Jeff Hardy, all those people have like beautiful, luscious hair. And, with wrestling, long hair creates that extra flow and movement in the match.
Right.
So I just kind of wanted to be like that. But then, he decides to chain me. No, he didn't chain me. He handcuffed me behind my back, sat me on a chair with his then manager, Pierre Fachon, and just shaved my head in front of my girlfriend and my sisters. And they had like the front seat view to just watch that happen. But, it's a fun memory. He and I are very close to this day because, we train. So, and we've had extensive car rides, back and forth to Malmo and such. So I have no hard feelings for him now. But, yeah, he took my hair away. Can't forget that.
Now, is that something they come to you with, like, we'd like to shave your head? Or is that something you go to them, like, I think it's time to shave my head? Or, like, a lot of match stipulations, you could go back and forward, but, like, it's a part of your body.
Yeah, of course. No, actually, again, my girlfriend was sick of my hair. She didn't like my long hair, like, at all. We spoke about it because I actually once grew a mustache, and she said, I actually accept your mustache more considering you had long hair because I don't want the long hair to come back. And I was like, wow, okay. But no, yeah, my girlfriend, she really hated the long hair. Even my coworkers were like, dude, when are you going to shave your head? So actually it was me that pitched the idea for a hair match to the promoter. And I said, I think we got to do a hair match to get rid of my hair. And I actually pulled a swerve on my girlfriend and my coworkers because they were coming to the show. Because Marcus has a history with hair matches. Every hair match that he's been in, he's lost. So with this hair match, I told my girlfriend and I told my coworkers that Marcus is a veteran. He's been in the game for like 20 years, and he wants to cut his hair. So I'm gonna win this match, and he's gonna cut his hair. But then we're gonna have a rematch, and then Marcus is gonna cut my hair. So they were like, "Oh, cool! You're gonna win. That's nice." But I didn't tell them that I was actually gonna lose. So they all came, and then the bell rang. And they were like, whoa, wait, is he going to cut his hair? And then I sat there on the chair with handcuffs behind my back. And Pierre Fachon had like a scissor that he was scissoring my hair with. And Markus of Man had the machine, and he was just shaving my head. And I could just see their faces because I was sitting like directly facing them. And, I think my girlfriend even cried. She denies it to this day, but I swear I saw her cry. And I could see my coworkers with just like the biggest eyes ever. And, my sister were just like completely shocked, just looking around like, is this for real? Is this happening right now? So it was really fun. I don't really like to have my head shaved because I consider myself having an oddly shaped head. So I just kind of wanted to be like, okay, let's do this match. I'll shave my head and get my girlfriend and my coworkers happy. But then, my head has to grow out. I don't want the shaved head.
Well, I will say the hair is looking very good as of right now.
Well, thank you. I try.
Keeping on Markus Man being a thorn in your side, he put a bounty on your head.
Yeah. Freaking jerk. I think it started like something like kind of tiny, where I think it was can't remember who. I think it was either Frank Rattel or Philip Racine, Lord Racine, and it was like 1,000 Swedish crowns. And then I beat him, and then it was like, oh, you're gonna have to face his next opponent, but it's 10,000 crowns. But then I beat him again, and it's like, you know what? 1 million crowns. It's like, this is getting ridiculous, bro. Do you even have 1 million crowns, bro? How bad do you want my head that you put on a bounty for 1 million crowns? Like, come on. Just be okay, bro. Come on. But yeah, he really had it out for me.
I believe that culminated to a match against Kenzane, no?
It did, yeah, it did. And he got the best of me. I was overzealous, and I went for a meat cleaver from the top rope, but sneaky Kenzane moved out of the way and picked me up for his finisher, and my arm was so hurt from landing on the mat from the top rope that he put me in like a submission, and I was dead set on not giving up. I didn't want to tap, but then he just grabbed the bad arm, and I just couldn't take it anymore. And I was like, you know what? It's not my 1 million crowns, you know.
Right.
So he can have the 1 million crowns. He's kind of a friend of mine. I was like, you can have this. It's kind of between you guys now. So okay, yeah, I'm really in a lot of pain. So I'm giving up. I don't want to do this anymore.
In a
So
way,
good on you.
in a way, you're working Marcus.
Yeah.
But it seems like I said, it seems like he's been very much an antagonist for you. Do you think that you are just destined to fight forever, or do you think that he will eventually go away?
I don't think he will go away. Now he has turned a new leaf, actually. I think on not the recent Stockholm wrestling show, but the one before that, he saw some injustice happening in the ring, and he stepped in between, and he's now, as they say, a face, maybe even a tweener. So I'm not sure that he and I will like tag in the ring, or maybe we'll become best friends. But I think he has turned on a new leaf, and he's trying to okay, I did what I did, and that wasn't the best of me, but I'm trying. So I think he and I are kind of like as they say with Cody and Roman, like Joker and Batman. I consider him like an arch rival. He's in my what do you call it, like gallery of rogues. I reckon him to being my biggest and toughest and most like well-known opponents.
All right. Well, there was one time you got there's a couple of times you got the better of him. But the one I'm referring to this time around is when you had the help of and I hope I'm getting this right, Therese Grönqvist.
Yes, it's a very Swedish name. It's Therese Grönqvist. It's kind of like Therese Green Twig in English. Swedish, man. It's weird. Yeah. What was it? We were doing a promo, and he would just, because we were doing a festival show called We Love the 90s, and he would just being an asshole, as always. And he did push me to the side, and I was like, dude, I'm just standing here. I didn't even provoke him. And so she decided to slap him in the face, and I was like, okay, yeah, cool. I have a friend here. Very nice.
No, and I believe that's the same festival Stanislaw called everybody jabronis. So very memorable for everybody.
Very memorable. I was actually, I wasn't backstage. I was kind of making my way towards the ring area, And I was walking around, high-fiving people in the crowd, getting them riled up. And then I just hear, you smelly paga jabronis. And I was like, what the hell? And I turned around, and there's Stanislaw up on the stage just screaming. It's like, oh, wow. Who let him on the stage?
All right. Let's get into, a big achievement. You won the Capital City Championship in a very hard-fought tournament. What did it mean to you to win that tournament and get that title?
It meant a lot. I haven't been doing this for a very long time, so to go 3 matches in one night against people. I think the first match was against Lord Racine, and he and I haven't been seeing eye to eye either. And then it was Markus of Man, and it kind of became to the point where like I know his stuff and he knows my stuff, so we were kind of just like trying different things. And then I ended up beating him, and I made it to the finals, and then faced a guy named Backbreaker Broda from Canada, residing in Finland. And Backbreaker is his name, and that's what he's going to give you. It was a very hard and tough match. He gave me like a chop to the back, and I could just feel the air in my lungs just leave me.
Ouch.
Yeah, and he even gave me a backstabber, and that one was just lethal, man. And all the backbreakers as well. And I was just fighting tooth and nail to just, because I didn't. It was kind of like more than me winning the match. It was more him losing the match. I did not want the Stockholm Capital City Championship to go to a Finnish Canadian, So I was like, man, I have to do this for the people more than me. So yeah, I fought really hard for that. And then when I got the 1, 2, 3, Dakota Duke came out and she handed me the title, and then it just was like, it's surreal. You start up at a point where you find wrestling, and then you become like kind of obsessed by it. You watch documentaries and interviews, and then you were like, you know what, maybe I can do this. So you start wrestling, and then you begin the journey, and then all of a sudden you're in a ring in front of like 300 people, and you're being handed a championship. It's so freaking cool. Even the lineage of that title means a lot too, because I think if it wasn't the first, it may have been the second. Either the first or second people hold that title was El Generico.
Yeah, Sami Zayn.
And that was just like, I'm holding the same title that a major WWE superstar has held, and that was just like freaking crazy. Just put it in perspective. Like one day I wasn't like in this bubble like at all, and now I'm holding the same title that Sami Zayn held. It means a lot.
Is that a moment you take in the moment, or does it kind of set in afterwards? Like, wow, I did this.
It kind of, people say, like take it in, and all that. But when I was out there, I was still in like my performance state. I think that I kind of slipped the crack a little bit because I held it up, and I was just like, oh my god, this is so fucking cool. And I think I even let out a tear or something, and I think someone got a photo of it where I'm just holding the title, and like I'm just like super happy. But then I get to the backstage area, and it's so freaking weird because we run like a really tight ship with Stockholm Wrestling, because like when the show is over, we got to take down the ring. But I was the main event, and I just won a title, so I'm getting to the backstage area, and I just see people just like going the other direction, and I get to the backstage area, to my locker room, and it's empty. Like, there's no one there. So I'm just sitting in there with like this championship and my water bottle, and I'm just like, I kind of don't want to get out of my gear because this is still really cool. And at a certain point, I was like, should I go out there again to just like meet with the people? But I think they already left. So I was like, okay, well, I think I'll get changed, and maybe I'll have disassemble the ring. And it was so weird. And I did because I think someone told me like, do you want help like packing the belt in your bag? And I was like, no, I'm gonna wear it. So I'm a champion now. So I threw it over my shoulder. I tossed my bag in my car, and I helped everyone carry the beams and the boards and all of that. With my championship on my shoulder. I was like, just super proud of that day, and yeah, I don't think that moment will ever go away from me. It was really surreal and very cool.
Now, we've been talking a lot about Ozzy Miller. Can you tell us about Jay Miller?
Yeah. He is actually my girlfriend's younger brother. People often think that we are brothers, but that's not true. He is my girlfriend's younger brother, and he was at the very first show that when I debuted as Köttfärs. And he was in the same position that I was when I started wrestling. Like, I didn't know that wrestling was in Sweden. And then I just invited him to come to wrestling, and he thought it was like a WWE show that was in town. And I said, no, it's me. I'm wrestling. And he's like, what? And then we started talking like a week after or something. And he was like, so do you just go in or do you train? It's like, no, of course I train. There's a school in Stockholm that I go to, like every Wednesday and Thursdays. And he's like, man, can I go? It's like, yeah, of course. So we started wrestling together, like wrestling training, and he picked it up really fast because I think someone that he'd been watching wrestling for a long time, and he played the video games and all that. So he picked it up really fast, and then I think I can't remember, but I think we had it was a Freedom Pro Rumble, and he was asked if he wanted to take part because he was a rookie, and if there's a 30 people that has to be on the show, we got to get as many people as possible. So he was asked if he wanted to participate. He was like, yeah, sure. And they asked him, well, what's your name? What's your gimmick? And he just kind of looked out into the the abyss, and he just didn't know what to say. So I just said, oh, he can be like my protege. Like I'm taking this guy under my wing. I'm gonna show him all I know, and I'm gonna teach him the right stuff. And he took my last name, Miller. So he's Jay Miller, and we're kind of like a tag team. We've had a match together, but he's been doing a lot of singles matches because I kind of want him to prove himself. I kind of want him to like throw him into the deep waters, kind of sink or swim. So he faced a few opponents, and we had a match at Stockholm Wrestling against the Strangler and Dr. Sadism, which was not so much fun for him because he got groped and all of that stuff. But yeah, he's a great kid, and I can see so much potential in him, and I think the future is bright with him. I don't think like the wrestling world is ready for what he is able and what he's going to do. I really like the guy. I really do.
I'm just wondering how your girlfriend felt that you brought her brother into pro wrestling.
Now you have to understand that he has been interested in wrestling before I came into either his or my girlfriend's picture. So he's been doing wrestling moves at home to either her or their younger sister. So I think she kind of felt like relieved for me to just like, okay, well, now he's gonna do that to me, you know. And then she knows that the wrestling is a big part of both his and my life, so she kind of sees that, okay, well, they both like it, they both want to do it, let's go, LFG.
I gotcha. Now, you mentioned at the top of the show, Holland, but you did wrestle in Finland, correct?
I did twice. I did.
How was that experience? Obviously, a different country, different culture when it comes to pro wrestling. What was the differences? What was that experience like wrestling in Finland compared to Sweden?
I mean, it was very surreal too, because with both Stockholm wrestling and pro wrestling, I drive the truck with the ring. I help set up the ring. I take down the ring. I make sure that there is a merchandise person at the merch booth. I make sure that we have photographers and videographers, and make sure that we put up a hard cam. But when we got to the first finish show, I kind of didn't have to do any of that. I just had to learn and see what other people were doing. And, I was under the wing with, people like Jamaica and King Kong Karola and Regina Rosendahl and Nico Valentine. It was super amazing to just be around all of those people with great minds of wrestling, and to just see, because with Stockholm Wrestling and Freedom Pro, I think, I may be throwing them under the bus, I don't care. But with Stockholm Wrestling and Freedom Pro, it's kind of like, like a punk show, kind of DIY. It's like,
right.
Well, we gotta do this, we gotta do that, blah 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 blah. Who can do this? Who can do that? But with FCF, Fight Club Finland, they're so gelled, and everybody has their part. This person does this, and this person does this, and this person does this. It was so amazing to see, to everything to just happen, from the moment we got there to the show was over. Like everything just, kind of just like happened. It was like, wow, this is just amazing. We have a lot to learn from just watching these people, because all they do is just amazing. So I had a great time.
All right. Now, can you tell us about that time you, Ken Zane, and Aliss Ink traveled with Stanislaw?
Yeah. Oh, that was so much fun. Because, me and Ken Zane, we're both trainees at Steel Tracks Performance Center, and, Aliss Ink is the trainer. And we three have this bond where, we kind of like, we talk shit to each other and we laugh around and all of that. And then all of a sudden we have Stanislaw Van Dobroniak on the same boat as us. And he just could not escape us. It was so funny. Whether it was, elevators, or it was the food court, or, even the bathroom, he just can't escape us. And it was so funny. It was so funny.
The one that popped me was the bathroom too.
Yeah. I think I was at the sink. I was just sitting there, and he opened the door, and we just looked at him, waved like hello, and he's like, I can't escape these jabronis. It's so fun.
I think that's a great segue into Ozzy's Bizarre Adventure. You're a pro wrestler that goes up and down the roads, and weird, crazy, and bizarre things are bound to happen. Can you tell us a road story that fits that description?
A bizarre road story. I kind of have two, so if you indulge me. The first that comes to mind is that same boat with me, Ken Zane, Aliss, and Stani. I was the top bunk in the boat, and we were like at the bottom of the hull, and we were like in the very front, so we could, at least I did, just feel the waves crashing into the boat, and we were, like stewing back and forth and side to side, and I just could not get to sleep, and I was, I had a match earlier, so I was like, I'm sore, and now I'm on this boat just rocking back and forth, and it's very loud, and I can't fall asleep. It was just complete hell. But also, we were traveling back from Malmo in a car in my little Suzuki. And it was me, Ken Zane, Aliss Ink, and Markus of Man. And I did the mistake of telling Markus that my car was a sports car because it says sport on the car. So I was like, and it's red too. So I was like, it's a red sports car, So he just, he put the foot all the way down, pedal to the metal. And me and Ken Zane are in the back, just white knuckling our way through this ride. And I don't want to say that I was scared, but we were going fast, and it was like pitch black. And my car does this thing too, where it has a wheel to put out the what's it called, the highlights and the lowlights, or the far lights and the, I don't know, like the bright lights and like the dim lights.
The headlights.
The headlights, yeah, and it's a wheel that you have to toggle to get to that, and then you gotta push a button to make it go bright. But I don't think that Markus understood that you can push the button again for it to become like not as bright, because if you get oncoming traffic, you have to take the big lights down. So he just pulled the wheel, not the steering wheel, but the wheel to the lights. And for like a complete 2 seconds, the entire car was just black, because it turns all of the lights off. And he did that like multiple times, to which I was like, dude, you just pull the lever, push the button, and it'll work. And he's like, oh, I didn't know. I was like, yeah, man, I'm so scared right now. And also, I was sitting back there, and because when he's done driving, because we're driving from Malmo to Stockholm, and it's like a 6 or 7 hour drive, and we began driving like after the show. I think the show ended at 10, and then we're gonna have to say goodbye to everybody. So maybe we got out of there at 11. So we're driving, and when Markus is done driving, I have to take over. But I could not fall asleep while I'm in the back seat, because he was driving just so fast, and he didn't know how to work the headlights. So I was like, if I'm going to die, I want to be awake. So that's all that was going through my head. I can't fall asleep, because if I die, I want to be awake when it happens. I don't want to be like asleep and dead. I want to be like, okay, I'm going to die now. So yeah, I think that's the most bizarre travel that I've been a part of. I can't think of anything other that's
Oh, I gotcha.
really reckless. Yeah.
Definitely a scary adventure.
Yeah. We make fun about it now. Whenever we get in my car again, I was like, did you know it was a sports car? And he's like, oh, shut up.
Alright. Can you tell us about Cass and Otto?
Oh, yeah, my dogs. Oh, wow. Yeah, Cass and Otto. They're rescues from Romania. We got Cash, the big black and white dog, first, me and my girlfriend, fairly early into our relationship. I think we've been together for, 2 or 3 years at that point. And we have him, and he's like, I don't want to be mean to him, but he's kind of a wimp. So he's very like scared of maybe everything. And so we were like, we kind of want to bring him out of his shell. And he always had fun when we went out and met other dogs. So he was like, we should get another dog. We should get like a second one. for our home. So we looked at other dogs and we found Otto. And I mean, Otto is the complete opposite to Cash. We actually call Cash, Ferdinand from the bull Ferdinand, because he just wants to sit around and smell the flowers, and he's so chill. But we call Otto our little Satan because he's just like a ragamuffin. This guy gets on my nerves like pretty much all the time, every day. This guy just comes up and he's like, "You want to play?" It's like, "No, it's 6 a.m. I gotta go to work." He's like, "Well, we'll play now." It's like, "No, we'll play when I get home, I swear." He's like, "Oh, okay." Yeah, but I love them both. They're great companions.
All right. Now, can you tell us, is there any meaning behind your tattoos?
I have an entire sleeve on my left arm, and I have begun a few tattoos on my right arm, and I have another tattoo on my thigh. Now there's a few tattoos that they don't mean anything really. There's just like I have skulls and I have a scorpion because my horoscope sign is a Scorpio, so I have a scorpion.
Okay.
But then I have my absolute first tattoo I got when I was 15, and it's an M. For my mother, her name is Monica, so I have an M on my arm, and she got my letter as well. And then I have another tattoo right above it. It's for my girlfriend. She and I think it was our 3rd year anniversary as a couple, and we decided we want to get we don't want to get matching tattoos because couples that get matching tattoos, they don't have a great track record of holding up, and we didn't want to get names or initials, but we kind of wanted to be if I send you 10 tattoos or drawings, you can pick one of them and get that tattoo. So she picked this tattoo out for me. It's 2 hands holding each other, and one hand is just like a hand, and another hand is like a space. We can see some stars and stuff. Okay. But yeah, and then I have 2 tattoos that are 21 Pilots tattoos because they're one of my favorite bands.
Okay.
Yeah, I really love 21 Pilots. And they actually, I have the one on my left arm I just got when I was, I think it was 21, and I just got one of their logos. But they're the drummer has a logo and the singer has a logo, and I got the drummer logo first, and then I decided I want the singer logo. And so I told my girlfriend, because she's an amazing artist, so I was like, "Can you just draw up this the logo, which then turns into a rose?" And so she did it, and it's super amazing. As well as I have when I'm looking at my tattoos now, I just find more and more tattoos that have meanings. All my tattoos are bullshit, but then it's oh wow, this has meaning. This has meaning. I have a lightning bolt on my hand that I had stupidly, I got a tattoo machine because I was so into tattoos. So I was just sitting at home being bored and tattooing myself. And I told my younger sister, her name is Liv. You kind of Liv Tyler, or Liv Morgan. There you go, wrestling. And it was Christmas time, and I asked her if she wanted to get a sibling tattoo, and she was sure. So I said, "Could you give me a lightning bolt on my hand?" It's yeah. And I said, "What do you want?" And she said, "Could you do an arrow on my foot?" I was "Yeah, of course." So we got that. And then on my thigh, I have the words "Stay with me, my blood," which is actually a 21 Pilots lyric from the song called "My Blood." And it's me and my sister has that same lyric on the same place on our thighs. Also, kind of a sibling tattoo, and then the last one, I swear, I have a butterfly on my right arm, which is again for my mother. When we were all very young, she got a tattoo on her calf, which it was like a flower and 5 butterflies, and each of the butterflies represents one of her children. So I am the second oldest of 5 children. So I have 4 siblings. And so when our mother turned 50, we wanted to get a butterfly, to represent her. So we all got butterflies, and we hid it from her because she has a house in Spain from her rich husband. So we all traveled there, and we had wine and everything. And then at a certain point of the evening, we just all stood up and it's like, look what we did. And she was like, what the hell? That's kind of like my tattoo. It's like, yeah, that's the point. So yeah.
That's really awesome and sweet.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't my idea. I wish I could take like credit for it, but it was my sister's idea to just get like a tattoo to represent her.
And just on that topic, I mean, getting a 21 Pilots tattoo at 21, very on theme.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
I said getting a 21 Pilots tattoo.
My dog just got in here.
No
See if I can find a better place to speak to you. It's actually my girlfriend just got home from work, so my dogs are just like, I mean, Otto is like, let's play.
Yes, I get it.
Yeah. All right, I have switched positions. 21 Pilots tattoos, sorry.
So I was saying, getting a 21 Pilots tattoo at 21, very on theme.
Yeah. It wasn't a purpose. Again, I wish I could take credit for that. Just be like, oh, I'm so thoughtful and, resourceful to do that. But no, I really like 21 Pilots. They came into my life at a certain point where all of what they did just meant a lot to me, and I just dove in headfirst into their music, and I've remained a fan since then. Their stuff is just amazing. I even, I have those 2 21 Pilots tattoos on my arms, but I even have like, the lead singer Tyler Joseph has a tattoo on him that says like Carpe Noctem, but it's like reversed inked. If you're really interested in Tyler Joseph's tattoo, you can look it up on Google. It's really cool. But I just got the words Carpe Noctem tattooed on my wrist, and they also have a song lyric in kind of pretty much not like all of their songs, but a few of their songs. They have a lyric called "Stay Alive," so I got "Stay Alive" on my wrist as well. Yeah.
Is there any plans for new ink in the future?
I so want to get more tattoos. I have my left sleeve in black and white, and I have my right arm in color. So I want to get like my right arm fully in color. But I'm one of those people, kind of like Aliss Ink. She's completely covered in tattoos.
Yes.
I want to get to that point. I want to be like covered, head to toe. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm gonna get a face tattoo like right now, but I want to get to that point where it's like I can't fit more tattoos on my body, so I gotta have them on my face. I mean, I really like tattoos. Even since a very young age. I told you my first tattoo was when I was 15, and I have like a folder on my phone for just like inspirations on what to do next. I can't wait to get another tattoo. I don't think when it'll be, because all of my resources right now goes into well, first of all, my dogs and my girlfriend and my apartment and everything like that. Pay rent and eat and all that. But secondly, it goes into wrestling. Gear isn't cheap and boots aren't either. And you got to buy wrist tape and you got to get some merch.
Right.
So whenever I feel like, I have a few bucks that I can spare, I'm gonna get another tattoo. I don't know when that'll come, but I'll hope it's pretty soon.
All right. I think that's a great transition into the colossal question. Let's say that
All right.
you're making a movie about you. Every movie has a soundtrack. What would be the first 3 songs on your movie soundtrack?
Oh, wow. I am really into music, so to pick just 3 to like represent my movie is, wow, that's difficult.
I mean, you could pick more if you'd like, but I try to limit it to 3.
Yeah. Well, I'll play along. I think the first one that comes to my head, it's called I think it's called Across the Stars. It's from the Star Wars Attack of the Clones soundtrack.
Yes, I know which one you're talking about. The Anakin Padme love theme, essentially. Yeah,
that song just gets me every time. It's so good. There's even like a piano version from this guy called Patrick, and it's so good. So I have to go with that. Then, because that's kind of like mellow and sweet and kind of heartbreaky, so I kind of have to go with something a little more energetic. I think I'm gonna go with this one song from one of my pilots called "Jumpsuit," because that song it's kind of, it starts really strong and then it kind of goes down. And then it comes right back up again, and then it dips a little bit, and then it just finishes strong. It's a really good song. I've seen them live once, and when they performed it, I was super hyped. And then for the third one, this is actually I have Avenged Sevenfold lyric tattooed on me, so I'm gonna get another Sevenfold lyric tattooed on me. That's from the song called Ordinary from their latest album, Life is But a Dream, which the song is kind of like this soul trying to find purpose, which is kind of a deep, I think, and that song just gets me going every time. So I think yeah, the Across the Stars, Jumpsuit, and Ordinary. Those are my 3.
Do you lock it in?
I will lock it in, sir.
All right, we're locked in. Now that we have the soundtrack down, everybody knows you get the soundtrack first, then you write the script, and then you go to casting. Who plays Ozzy, and you can't say yourself because you are obligated to make a Stan Lee-esque cameo.
All right. There's this one guy called Evan Peters. I think he's been in a few movies that are really good, and my girlfriend even says that I kind of like remind. She thinks I look like him. He's been in what's it called? The American Horror something.
American Horror Stories.
American Horror Story, yeah, exactly. And that Dahmer show also, where he, kidnaps people and does awful things.
Yeah.
As well as X-Men Apocalypse and all those other X-Men movies. He was Quicksilver in the X-Men movies.
That's right.
So, yeah, just because she thinks I look like Evan Peters, I think I'm going to have to go with Evan Peters for that one.
Okay. Now, every movie has a supporting cast. Who would be 3 people significant to you in your story that would be in your movie, and who would play them?
Yeah. Well, I have to go with my girlfriend first. And I think, she would be pretty mad at me if I didn't choose anyone else than, like, Megan Fox or maybe even Dakota Johnson from the 50 Shades movies.
Okay.
Because those 2 are her favorite actresses. Now, I don't say this to her, but I wouldn't say that they are like very good actresses, but she really likes them. So she could, yeah, to play my girlfriend, either Megan Fox or Dakota Johnson, I would say. And two people that has been pretty instrumental in my life are, Markus of Man and Aliss Ink. So I have to throw them in there. Someone to play Marcus. Someone to play Marcus. Just for the lulz, for the shits and giggles, I'm just gonna go like a Hugh Grant.
Okay, that could work.
Yeah, I kind of want to see what Hugh Grant does with Marcus. That could be fun. And for Alice, oh wow, who will we choose for Alice? There has to be someone badass. You can't do like Scarlett Johansson. It has to be someone like very kick-ass. Oh, kick-ass. That the little girl from Kick-Ass.
Hit Girl.
Yeah, Hit Girl. Yeah.
Chloe.
Chloe Grace Moretz. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I think throw some tattoos on Chloe Grace Moretz and let her just, kick some ass. That could be really entertaining.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. It's sounding like a fantastic movie, a blockbuster to say the least.
Yeah.
And you could pre-order the tickets now.
Tickets are on sale now.
Yes. Right. Now, you are from Sweden, so and a Swedish exclusive question: is
All right.
Sweden's greatest national treasure ABBA?
Yeah, it has to be, right? It has to be. Who or what else could it be?
I
It's
don't
not
know.
Volvo because, I mean, I think Norway or China owns Volvo now, so it can't be Volvo. I mean, Europe is up there, but not as up there as ABBA. It has to be ABBA, yeah. I agree.
Okay. On to a controversial subject. Pineapple on pizza. What's your stance?
Oh, wow. It's not my first choice. If I have to go with a pizza, it's just be a straight cheese pizza with maybe mushrooms and olives on it. But I don't hate pineapples on pizza, and I don't frown upon people eating pineapples on pizza. However, my mother has her husband, and they've been married for a while now, and he does this thing with the banana and like curry, and I just can't go with that. I think one time we were moving, and when you move, you buy people pizza, and he was asking for the banana and curry pizza, and I was like, if you want that pizza, you're gonna have to buy it for yourself, because I'm not spending money on that. I'm sorry, bro.
Alright, so more or less anti-pineapple on pizza, but not necessarily judging the pro-pineapple on pizza people.
No, not at all. If you want pineapple on your pizza, go on LFG.
But definitely judging the banana curry people.
Yeah, what is up with that? Oh my god.
What's your spirit Pokemon?
Oh wow. I'm a first gen guy. And it's either Charizard.
Okay.
Because I really like Charizard. Or it would have either Charizard or Mewtwo. Those two just get me.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Now, we love the late great Tracy Smothers on the show. Do you know the acronym for Doug? THUG.
Tony Hawk's Underground.
That is incorrect, but I love the enthusiasm. T is for terrible, H is for hell, U is for ugly, and G is for jail. 'Cause a dog can't spell.
A dog can't spell. Nice. All
Yes.
right.
We love the late
Cool.
great Tracy Smothers, and we're trying to keep the memory alive on the show.
Yes. R.I.P.
Weirdest question you'll be asked on a wrestling interview, hopefully. Would you ever
Okay.
consider wrestling a Rock? Not Dwayne Johnson, not the country, an actual physical Rock.
I don't think the A-Rock would be very safe. I don't think they will be able to pull their punches. And if I'm gonna strike this Rock, I don't know if they're gonna lean back or if they're gonna take it. And also, with the meat cleaver, it's a meat cleaver. It's not a stone cleaver. So I would absolutely be able to give it a shot. I would like to see if it would work, but I think I'm gonna be sore the next day and just have all bumps and bruises. But if the booker books me against the Rock, I'm gonna give my 5 out of 5 stars to this Rock.
Well, just for context, there's a wrestler named Psycho Mike that indeed wrestled a Rock for over 15 minutes in a Tungsten Man match. That's an Iron Man match that lasts for 2 weeks.
Wow, I really like Psycho Mike, actually. He's so cool.
Oh yeah, love Psycho Mike.
Yeah, I saw the video of him wrestling the dog.
Oh yeah.
That just got me really good. As well as, I think he was at the Mystery Wrestling with Evil Uno and all those people. And he was just facing hard cam the entire time, just never letting go. Whenever he had the hold, throwing clotheslines or back elbows, his eyes were just fixed on the hard cam. He was so good. Gotta love Psycho Mike.
100%. On a more serious note, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Oh, I really want to go to other countries. I've been in Sweden and Finland, of course, and this year I'm going to Holland. I have been over to Denmark to help around. I did their merch booth, but I would really like to kind of become a weekend wrestler. Travel to new places, to new countries, to new organizations, and just wrestle, every weekend. That's the goal, really, for me. So in 5 years, I hope I'll be doing that.
Okay. And what is a match people should go out of their way to see that best shows off what you are all about as a pro wrestler?
If people can find the match with me and Dylan Broda, Backbreaker Broda, at the Capital City Carnage show, maybe even as well as the Markus of Man match on the same show, because I faced him before I faced Backbreaker. I'm really proud of those 2 matches. I think they both encapsulate what I am able to do in the ring. Now, this was a while ago, so I would like to think that I've gotten better. But yeah, those 2 matches stand out in my heart as being like 2 of my favorites.
And can we find those on YouTube or?
I am unsure, but I will try my damnedest to get them there, because I really like those matches.
Okay, well, if they're indeed there, I will find them, and I will put a link to the video in the description of the video on YouTube and Castbox. For anybody that hasn't seen it, wants to see it, wants to re-see it after this interview.
Amazing. I actually do believe that they are on the Stockholm Wrestling Facebook page. If it's not on there, there should be a link to a streaming service called Svensk Live Sport, and they streamed our shows from for 3 shows, and they should be on there.
Okay.
I'm fairly certain that if you go into Stockholm Wrestling on Facebook and search for Svensk Live Sport, they have a link, and you can find Capital City Carnage. And you can watch the entire show, but if you just want to see my matches, just scroll on through until I'm on the screen.
Is that a subscription service or is it free?
Oh wow, that's a good question. I think it's subscription to watch it live, but to be able to watch it back, it should be free. I think.
Well, we will. If you click the
If
link.
it's not free,
Yeah.
I will tell you this. If it's not free, I will take time and I will go in there and I will pirate it and I will put it up on YouTube so it's free. That's my promise.
All right. This interview is now rated R.
Amazing.
Now, since we are nearing the conclusion of this interview, we are wrestling with the 8 questions of doom.
Dun, dun, dun.
This is our speed round or bonus round, the round where we see who you really are. Are you ready?
I am ready, sir.
Excluding yourself, greatest wrestler of all time.
Oh, think fast. Will Ospreay.
Worst wrestler.
Recent CM Punk.
You're in the main event of WrestleMania for the World Championship. Who is your opponent?
Can I say Will Ospreay again?
Sure.
Chris Cop out.
If you could come out to anyone's entrance music, past or present, who would it be?
Oh, you know what? Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, when they were like the OC way back in the day, they had a banger theme.
That they did.
Yeah, that's. I think I'll go with that. That's a good one.
Finish the sentence. Kayfabe is.
What you make it.
We would have also accepted taste great on toast.
Awesome.
Squash. Vegetable or fruit?
It's a fruit, right?
It is indeed a fruit, yes.
Nice. Because of the seeds.
Yes.
Yes.
New Japan wrestler Taichi. His ring gear gets smaller every year, revealing more of himself to the world. My question, what is the appropriate trunks to butt cheek ratio for ring gear?
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, because you always see like every buttock is, covered on the males, but you see some cheeks on the females, so that's not really fair. You know what I would like to see? Zack Ryder back in the ECW days,
yes.
Where he had like a long and then a short. You should do that, but with maybe it will look weird. I don't know. Like one cheek is covered, but other cheek is like thonged.
So one cheek exposed, the other one completely covered.
Yeah. I mean, it might look really weird, like he's having half a wedgie, but we gotta break the mold somehow.
That's the first time I've ever gotten that answer, and it's probably my favorite now.
Okay, nice, thank you.
And the last question, the main event, the thing everybody wants to know. Have you ever had a conversation with a stranger in a supermarket about Darby Allin?
About Darby Allin. You know what? It wasn't a conversation. It was more a comment. Because I was talking to my girlfriend about Darby Allin after the Sting retirement match.
Okay.
And Darby did the whole like ladder into a pane of glass spot.
Yeah.
And so I was speaking to her, and I think it was rather loudly because I was like very enthusiastic. I was like, he did this stuff. It was so fucking crazy. And this guy just out of like the corner of my eye, he was like, yeah, that was crazy, right? And he was wearing a Feeling Ozzy shirt because he must have been a wrestling fan because he was like, that was crazy, right? And I was like, yeah, it was crazy. He was like, ha, ha, ha. And then he just walked off. So I think, yeah, I've had that. It wasn't a conversation. Like, we didn't stop and talk about Darby Allin, but I got a comment at least.
I mean, that is more than most of our other interviewees. So that is the correct answer.
All right, nice. Yay, me.
And that will conclude this interview. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this with me.
Oh, thank you. It was a pleasure. Because I really have liked your interviews, and you've had very much of my my peers on here, like Pedrolo, Joe Bravo, Stanislaw, of course, Ken Zane, Mickey Marble, Looking Sharp, Ruby Roberts, Dakota Duke, and Lexi Lux. Those are all people that I have met and I have a good relationship with. So to be one of the names on your podcast as them, as well as other people that you have interviewed, is just crazy. So I just want to thank you for the opportunity to come on your show.
Well, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
It's all my pleasure.
And I love I absolutely love that area for pro wrestling. You have a fantastic bunch of just great and genuine people.
Yeah, I like our people.
And once again, where can people find you on social media?
Yes, on Facebook, just search for Ozzy Miller, and on Instagram, it's ozzymiller.wrestling, and on X or Twitter, it's ozzymillerw.
And you don't even have to type it into your Google machines. All of the links to all his social media will be in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox. Simply click the link, a new tab will appear on whatever device you are on. You have no excuse. Give him a damn follow. And if you're at the show, buy a damn shirt.
Buy a shirt, come on. I need to get a tattoo.
He needs tattoos, damn it.
Come on. Thank you.
Of course, thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, both on YouTube and Castbox. This was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us tomorrow as we interview Nina, and join us every Tuesday and Wednesday for new incredible interviews. Follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on X, Dread, and Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Follow me personally at JamesJ993. Alright, when I say Wrestling Wit, you say entertainment, okay?
Okay.
For our special guest Ozzy Miller, Kaliko Yacht, Scooter Dust, I am James J, and this has been Wrestling with
Entertainment!
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.